just trying to quit your bad habits in life sometimes, and a lot of the time, isn't enough. You try your best, you recognize the mistake at hand, and you genuinely try and withstand from doing it. You try and avoid temptation, you try and disregard the feeling and the urge to do it when it comes about, but then you always find yourself falling back into doing it at some point. And then you feel guilty, you try again, you keep trying, and then you do it, and then you go again and again and again, and you just can't seem to quit it. And one thing that has helped me in my life so drastically to no longer do some of the worst habits I did as a young, irresponsible man before I started my full journey of self-improvement was to form a disgust toward the bad habits I was doing. To form such a strong hatred so that when the temptation occurred and maybe the urge came, it was easy not to do it because I hated it so much to where no amount of temptation could ever tempt me into doing it at all, ever again in my entire life. So fighting the urges and temptation isn't just by trying your best. It's about understanding why you don't want to do it in the first place. You're not just not doing it because it's bad and you've been told that not doing it is a good thing. Why should you not do it? Why should you not give in? Why do you then feel guilty? And I think it just being bad is not a good enough reason, because then you won't really understand the guilt afterwards to why you feel guilty. You'll feel a bit guilty, I shouldn't have done that, it's bad. But then you just go and do it again. Yep, I feel guilty, it's bad. But why? What is that strong reason for you why you really shouldn't be doing these bad habits that you seem to keep repeating over and over again and can't seem to quit? And I think one of the best ways to do that, and the best way, and what has worked for me and I believe could work for you, is to really understand a reason for you to hate them so that you just naturally don't commit them anymore. And I think disgust is the right word for me with whether it be scrolling. I think scrolling was one of the worst for me early on, and the way I quit it, as I said, I formed a disgust towards it. It wasn't just scrolling and distraction, it was the damage it has to my brain, the nerves, and just overall with my attention span, with dopamine, with happiness, and all of these things. You go into deep reasoning to why you should hate it or be disgusted by the habit. What looking at your phone, scrolling, does to your brain, to your attention span, as I said, to your overall health that you don't even realize. Understand it. What does it do to your health? Well, it does this and it affects the brain in this way. And as I said again, it fucks up your attention span, which then when you go and do other things, you try and focus, you procrastinate, on and on and on. I've really understood why I shouldn't have done it. I didn't just say, oh, scrolling's bad, I heard it's bad for the brain, Don't really know why, but it's bad apparently. Or eating these foods are bad for me. Or fapping is bad for me as a man. You can say it's bad, but why is it bad? Why shouldn't you do it? Really deep down. And I think when you do that, and you really form reasoning, and you find reasoning, you can then really form and find hatred to no longer doing it. The same hatred and disgust and reluctancy that you have towards other things you don't do in your life, have that same feeling towards the bad habits in your life. You just don't do it because of this reason and because you hate it so much and it's just not who you are. You shouldn't have to resist the urge and temptation. It should naturally just not be done by you hating it so much so that it feels easy. You shouldn't be somewhere in the middle between good and bad, doing it or not doing it. It should be easy not to do it because you were so disgusted by doing it that you would never even think to do it. So I believe this advice could really help you, especially if you put it into action and practice in your life with all the bad habits you're struggling to quit. So thank you all for watching. Hope to see you in the next video I post daily on YouTube. So I'll ask if you could subscribe to the channel, it'd be much appreciated. But thank you all for watching again, and goodbye for now.